Hello and welcome back. Today I want to talk about the off-grid power setup I'm going to do for the other deer hunting stand I've been working on. I showed you guys a video of that last time where I'm working on a 6x6 deer stand, which I'm actually sitting in right now. You call it a tiny house or a deer stand. I'm going to put power in it, similar to the way I'm going to do in the other one, but this one I'm not going to use the same equipment. The other one I bought this all-in-one system to do it with the power, and it's a 48-volt system. In this tiny house, I'm going to be using a much smaller system. The inverter is only going to be 2,000 watts. The battery is going to be a 12-volt battery rather than a 48-volt battery. And I have to purchase a separate charge controller to charge that battery from solar, as well as have a separate inverter. So like I said in the other video, the other one's all in one system. One box has the inverter in it, has the charge controller in it that handles charging the battery as well as accepting solar power, whereas in this case, I'm getting all the components separately. And I'll kind of show you the cost difference between the two on this video versus the other one. You can go watch to see what the cost is there, but I'll tell you about it. So this system that I've got here, it's a little bit over $500, I'll just say, out of the box. Inside of this system, I've got three things in here. I've got this charge controller, which comes from Victron Energy. I've done a lot of research on these and heard a lot of really good things about this company. So this is the first thing, it's this charge controller. So this will connect to the battery to charge it, and then it connects to the solar arrays to get the energy from the sun. So this is one piece that all-in-one system is doing. And this one happens to be a 100 by 30, which means it'll accept up to 100 volts from the PV array, from the solar array, and it will push out up to 30 amps, which is more than what I'm going to need for this system setup here. So that's why it's called 130. But super simple to set up. These two things go to the battery. These two things go to the solar array. We will put fuses in between them just to protect the system so I, again, don't catch anything on fire. And then for the inverter on this system, I'm going to use this here, which is from the same company as that all-in-one. It's from Renogy. It's a 2,000 watt inverter. It's a pure sine wave inverter, so it creates the correct sine wave you would expect for AC current. But this will push out 2,000 watts. I forget what the max it'll go to. I think it's up to 3,000 for a very short amount of time, but I don't expect to be using more than 2,000 watts out there on that system. And the way this is set up is it's got plugins on the front of it for power if you want. It's also got items here where you can actually hook up wires to it, which is what we'll do in the tiny house we're in. We're gonna wire it up like a regular house and feed it off of this. Probably push this to a control box like I did on the other system I set up. And it's got a USB output on it too, and like 3 outputs here. But again, I probably won't use these. I'll probably be just running wires off of this and putting outlets in the wall, so forth, like you would in a normal house. And then on the back side of it, it's got just the two connectors. It's got the negative and the positive. So this would go to the positive terminal on the battery back here, and this would go to the negative terminal on the battery. Super simple to set up, and I'll probably put a fuse between the positive terminals, an inline fuse, just to make sure that I don't start any fires if something happens to short circuit on me. And so then the last thing I've got here is the battery itself, which this is a battery by Fly Power, or Flower, I guess you would call it. It's a 12-volt battery. It's got 200 amp hours in it. So this battery basically has the same amount of runtime in it as that 48-volt, 50-amp battery on the other system. Since this is 24-volt, or since this is 12 volts, it's 4 times less the volts of the 48, right? So it's 1/4 of that. And I've got 200 amp hours in this battery, and the other one I've only got 50. So this one's 4 times the amp hour. So this really is the same amount of power that would come out of this that I can then run this inverter off of. So I want to talk about why am I using these products that I have right here. The reason I'm using these is because I actually found somebody online that was selling all this stuff. They were selling it really cheap. They bought it and decided they didn't want to use it, and so they had it online for way more than I paid. I paid $500 for all of this. And so they were asking more than that. I talked to them to say, hey, would you take $500 for it? If you will, I'll come and pick it up to somebody that was semi-local here in Minnesota. And it came with these solar panels too, so I've already got the solar panels for it as well. I didn't even price these out, but I think you can get these for probably around $100 for both of these. These are small, I think 100-watt solar panels. Not even sure if this is enough to really run this system, but I'm gonna give it a try since that's what I got. And then I also want to say this battery, when you get this battery, it comes with a charger that you can actually plug it in with. Plug this into the battery to charge it, and this will just plug into your wall. So you could just charge this from your house AC if you wanted to use this battery for something else. We won't use this out there because, again, I don't have any power out there. I'm only going to have the sun. And so I only have solar power, which will connect to this Victron MPPT charge controller, and then that will connect to the battery, and then the battery will connect to the inverter here, and that will give me the power that I need. So this is the difference between what I did before and what I did here. Like, you got to buy all the parts independently, whereas before it was an all-in-one system. And obviously this is much cheaper, but again, you got to deal with all the parts separately. So all this all together cost, I think if you bought it today offline, this inverter is around $235, I think, right now on sale. And this charge controller is around $115 right now online. And this battery, they don't even make this battery anymore, but they make other versions of this. The closest I could find to it is they make a 180 amp version of this, but it's a smaller battery now because they've gotten better about making them. 12 volt battery, 180 amps, and that battery, when I saw it online, was $233. I will put links to all three of these things down below so you can go take a look at them, see if it's something you would like to do. But this is my plan for the tiny house that I'm actually sitting in right now, or the stand I'm sitting in. This is the stand that we built here in the garage. Run it off of this solar here and see if it works. I may need more solar panels, not sure. May need more battery power, not sure. The question will be is, can I get enough sunlight out there to fully charge this battery in, the couple of hours I've got sunlight, especially in the winter? Will the panels will they generate enough to fill this back up if this is running all day, running a camera out there, which is what I expect to set up, just like I'm going to set up in the other system. I'm going to put a camera on here that is watching the field there, and then I'm going to run that camera off this equipment, and then when I'm out there hunting, obviously we'll probably have a laptop with me and some other equipment that I'll plug into this. So it'll be a give and take if the panels and the battery are enough. I might need more batteries, might need more panels. We'll see as we get down the road, as we start playing with it. So let me know down below in the comments if you guys think this is a good setup. I think it's a pretty good deal to get all this for 500 bucks. If I price this out all individually, this is already $585, I think, for just these three things today online. And if you include these, it's another $150 bucks. And then I even got some wires and stuff that go with it too. So I think I got a pretty good deal at $500. I think it'll work out pretty well for me out there, even though I think this battery is kind of, like, I don't even know if they make these batteries anymore. I couldn't find them online. And I will point you to the other video that I did before on the 48 volt system. That system, I'm all in it around a little bit over $1,400 right now. And that's not even including the solar panels that I'm going to add to it, which are going to increase the price by another almost $500. So that system's going to be almost $2,000 when it's done, compared to this system here. It's going to be, right now it's 500 bucks. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. We'll find out. I know I have at least all hooked up the equipment, and the equipment all works. So it's a matter of just, will it meet my needs out there is really the question. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like this video. Again, tell me what you think about the system, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'd love to have you, and we will see you guys in the next one.